I'm Jim Brule. I'm a Magid, which means I'm a spiritual storyteller in the Jewish tradition. And I have a story today that I think you'll appreciate. It's a story about a man named Rabbi Israel Meir Kagan, otherwise known as the Chofetz Chaim, which means somebody who desires life. And the Chofetz Chaim, well, he really loved people. He had a big, generous heart, and he was ready to forgive people for seemingly nothing. As an example, once he was called as a character witness in a secular court. And the judge, who wasn't too fond of Jews, said, well, why should we accept him as a character witness? What do we know about him? And the lawyer for the case said, well, Judge, there was a time not too long ago when somebody broke into the rabbi's house and he stole his silver. And as he was making his way out of his house, he hadn't gone more than a couple feet, it seems, then he ran into a policeman. The silver went scattering, and the policeman started to beat the guy up for having broken into the house. And the rabbi looked out his window, saw what was doing, ran downstairs, found a silver plate, and then outside, where he said to the officer, stop, you shouldn't be doing this. The officer looked at him and said, what do you mean? He stole all your silver? He said, no. And he holds up the plate and he says, my good man, I told you could have all my silver and you forgot this. Please take it. And of course, the policeman let him go. And that's because he didn't want to see this man be beaten up. Well, the judge looks at the lawyer and says, do you expect me to believe that? The lawyer said, well, maybe yes and maybe no, but can you imagine anyone ever telling a story like that about me or you? So that was the Chofetz Chaim. Now, it happened that one day he was traveling to a large city where he was going to be the honored guest at this big ceremony. And, he was a tiny little poor man who was sitting in the back of the car, reading. And up towards the front of the car, there were a bunch of big, burly folks who were laughing and drinking and playing cards and having a wonderful old time. And one of them sees the Chofetz Chaim there back towards the back of the car, and he thinks, we can make some money off of this guy. So he calls over and says, hey, you dirty peasant, come on up here, play some cards with us. The Chofetz Chaim looks at him and says, no, I'm reading. Thank you very much, but no thank you. The fellow looks at him and says, I told you, come up here, we want to play cards with you. Get yourself up here. And the Chofetz Chaim kind of shrinks a little and says, no, thank you. I don't play cards. I wouldn't know how to play. Well, the burly man gets really angry now. He says, that's exactly the kind of man we want. He runs over and he grabs him by the scruff of his neck, pulls him over and sits him down at the table, says, deal him in. The Chofetz Chaim says, look, I can't play. I'll sit here and I'll watch, but and the man who's got one hand still on his collar slaps him across the face and says, you'll play with us. Big red mark on his face. Now, in that moment, the train stops, and everyone goes piling off. And the Chofetz Chaim waits his turn. Now, when the big burly guy comes off, he sees this big crowd out there and wonders what's going on. And as the Chofetz Chaim walks out, the whole crowd erupts into cheers. And the man realizes he's hit the wrong fellow. And he goes over to him. He says, oh, please, forgive me. I struck you. I shouldn't have hit you. Such a famous rabbi. I'm sorry. Now, everybody knows the Chofetz Chaim, and everybody knows, of course, he's going to forgive him. But the Chofetz Chaim says, I'm sorry. I can't forgive you. The crowd goes quiet. The man says, no, please, forgive me. I'm so big and you're so small, I shouldn't have hit you. I'm sorry. Chofetz Chaim looks at him and said, I'm afraid I can't. The man says, I don't get it. He said, this is the third time I've asked you. You've got to forgive me. Please forgive me. I'm sorry I hit you, Rabbi. And the Chofetz Chaim says, I can't forgive you. You didn't hit me. Now everybody's looking at me. He's got this big red mark on his face, and the fellow says, Rabbi, what are you talking about? Of course I hit you. There's my handprint right on your face. And the Chofetz Chaim says, no. I'm a famous rabbi. You didn't hit me. You hit some poor peasant at the back of the train. Go find him and apologize to him. And that's the story of the Chofetz Chaim from Belarus.